Today, we're jumping into the story of a nation that is just full of fascinating contrasts. It's a country that's racing toward the future, right? We're talking billion-dollar mega projects. But at the exact same time, it's a nation deeply, deeply shaped by the echoes of its past. This is the story of modern Kenya. Okay, so to really get Kenya today, you've got to get your head around these two realities that exist side by side. On the one hand, you have the Silicon Savannah, this buzzing hub of tech and money and massive development. And on the other hand, you have a nation whose borders, whose political system, they're a direct inheritance from its colonial history. These two things aren't separate, they're woven together into one single, complex story. So let's start with that modern boom. People call Kenya the Beast of the East for a reason. It is the economic powerhouse of East Africa, and trust me, the scale of what's happening right now is just staggering. Get this, a $3.6 billion project for a brand new expressway. Now, this isn't just a road. Imagine a grueling 10-hour drive between Nairobi and Mombasa, the country's two biggest cities. This project slashes that down to just 4 hours. That is a total game changer. Infrastructure on a massive scale.
And it's this kind of incredible ambition that's earned Kenya the nickname Silicon Savannah. It's the perfect name, right? It captures this blend of its iconic landscape with its dream of becoming Africa's #1 tech hub. And it's working. It's pulling in the lion's share of investment for the whole region.
And the vision for the future is just breathtaking. I mean, we are not talking about small projects here. We're talking about Konza Technology City, a $14.5 billion IT hub basically being built from scratch. Tatu City, a completely new city on 5,000 acres of land. The Lapset Corridor, a gigantic transport network connecting 3 whole countries. Even the skyline is changing, with 88 Nairobi set to be the tallest residential tower in all of sub-Saharan Africa.
So how does all this big picture stuff actually change things for people day to day? Well, it's creating this whole new consumer culture built around this all-under-one-roof lifestyle. And malls are at the center of it all. Two Rivers isn't just the biggest mall in Kenya, it has the tallest Ferris wheel on the continent. Then you've got super stylish places like the Hub Karen. Even the oldest mall, Sarit Center, which opened way back in '83, is still pulling in 25,000 people a day. It's incredible.
Okay, so all this economic energy, it's not just staying within Kenya's borders. It's translating into real global influence, with Nairobi quickly becoming one of the world's new diplomatic capitals.
Now, what's so wild about this is the speed of it all. Think about it. Back in 1973, the UN's presence was tiny, just 300 staff. You fast forward to today, and Nairobi is officially the UN's fastest-growing duty station in the entire world. And it's not slowing down, it's speeding up. By 2026, it's going to host the new global headquarters for huge agencies like UNICEF and UN Women.
And just look at the scale of that growth. From 300 people to over 6,500 staff today, and that's not even counting their families, right? This massive influx has turned Nairobi into a true global hub, putting it right up there with historic UN cities like New York and Geneva.
And the money, wow. We're talking an estimated $350 million a year being pumped into Kenya's economy. Now, to give you some perspective, Kenya is famous for its coffee, right? Well, this is 4 times what the country makes from its coffee exports. That is a huge, huge deal.
So yeah, it is an absolutely incredible story of progress. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's underneath all of this? What are the historical foundations that this gleaming, modern, global city is actually built on?
Well, to answer that, we've got to peel back the layers. We need to look at the colonial blueprint that literally forged the nation we now call Kenya.
Okay, so there's a key idea we need to understand here, and it's called post-colonialism. It basically describes this situation where, yeah, a country is officially independent on paper, but in reality, it's still kind of tangled up, economically, culturally, with its old colonial ruler. It's a really complex and challenging legacy.
And this whole process happened incredibly fast. It all kicked off in the 1880s, when European powers basically sat around a table and divvied up Africa. By 1895, Britain had control, and by 1920, Kenya was officially a British colony, a status it held all the way until its hard-won independence in 1963.
And the fallout from this period was huge, starting with the borders themselves. I mean, they were totally artificial. They just mashed together more than 40 distinct independent communities. At the same time, they sliced right through other groups, like the Maasai and the Somali, splitting them between different countries. This created a situation where different groups were forced to compete with each other for resources from the colonial government, which scholars call negative ethnicity.
And you can see here it's almost like a direct copy-paste at the power structure. The colonial state was super centralized and authoritarian, right? Designed for one thing,
making money for Britain. Well, after independence, Kenya got that exact system. Power stayed centralized, but now was in the hands of a president, creating a system that in some ways was even less accountable than what came before it.
So you can imagine, these inherited structures didn't just disappear. They created these powerful echoes, these ripples, that have shaped Kenyan politics ever since.
You see it with Kenya's first president, Jomo Kenyatta. He used that centralized power he inherited to deal with his rivals, and that often made ethnic tensions worse. His successor, Daniel Arap Moi, was facing the same basic problems of ethnicity and power, and his response? Often, it was to double down on authoritarianism to keep things under control. The pattern was set. Yeah, this quote really just nails it. The design of the colonial state, with those artificial borders, it basically created a system where communities were pitted against each other. It wasn't some kind of accident, it was a direct consequence of that structure.
And look, this isn't just some dusty old history lesson. It is a living, breathing reality today in a country that's home to more than 47 different tribes. The challenge of building one national identity out of all that diversity, a challenge born in the colonial era, is still right at the heart of Kenya's story.
So, let's bring it all back together. You've got this hyper-modern future being built, and this deep, complicated past. It really is two Kenyas, but one single, fascinating story. I mean, think about the Nairobi a tourist sees. It's vibrant, it's modern. You can literally feed giraffes by hand, shop at these amazing craft markets, see traditional culture at Bomas of Kenya, or go for a hike in a massive forest right in the city. It feels dynamic and exciting.
But now, hold that thought and listen to this quote. The colonial economy was built on disarticulation, a fancy word that means development was deliberately piled into a few spots, like Nairobi, to make it easier to control and extract resources. And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. The very concentration of wealth and opportunity that makes modern Nairobi so attractive today, its roots are right there in that colonial blueprint.
And that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? As Kenya surges forward, building this incredible future as a global powerhouse, the real challenge and the most fascinating part of its story will be how it continues to navigate these deep, powerful echoes from its past.